Hi, it's Natty from the Thaiger, and you're watching Thailand Top Stories, today's major news in Thailand and Southeast Asia. Stay tuned for a quick update on the COVID-19 situation in Thailand, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Starting November 1st, vaccinated travelers from 10 countries, including the US and the UK, will likely be able to enter Thailand without undergoing quarantine, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha announced last night. He said travelers will need to show proof that they are vaccinated against COVID-19 and will need to test negative for the virus, both before departure and upon arrival. In his televised address, the Prime Minister said, quote, "The time has come for us to ready ourselves to face the coronavirus and live with it as with other endemic infections and diseases," end quote. A proposal still needs to be approved by the CCSA. The general meetings are chaired by the Prime Minister, meaning it is likely that the plan will be approved. So far, the only options for entering Thailand without a mandatory 14-day quarantine period has been through the Phuket and Koh Samui sandbox projects, which were launched in July, and allowed vaccinated travelers to stay on the island for the 2-week period rather than isolating in a hotel. During his speech last night, Prayut announced that restrictions on alcohol sales will possibly be eased by December 1st. The Prime Minister said he will consider allowing the consumption of alcohol at restaurants as well as entertainment venues. For the past several months, bars and nightclubs across Thailand have been closed and alcohol consumption at restaurants has been banned, although some restaurants are still serving booze just a little discreetly. Tham Luang Cave Complex will reopen on Friday after being closed for several months due to COVID-19 restrictions. The cave in Chiang Rai is now known for the heroic rescue mission back in 2018, where Navy SEAL divers saved 12 young football players and their coach who were trapped in the cave. The Bangkok Post says that when the complex reopens, visitors will be able to trek along the newly extended trail inside the cave that includes the underground chamber that was used by the divers during the rescue. Police raided a large party in the central province of Saraburi and arrested 220 teenagers yesterday for violating COVID-19 prevention measures. Officers say they raided a popular entertainment venue that has been shut down for years, but the space has been used illegally for underground parties. Police say they found several types of illicit drugs, including crystal methamphetamine. And here are the top headlines in Southeast Asia. In Indonesia, Bloomberg News reports the country is reopening its border to allow arrivals from 18 countries, and the mandatory quarantine period will be cut down from 8 days to 5. An official overseeing the country's pandemic response did not specify which countries are included in Indonesia's reopening plan. Indonesia's borders have been gradually reopening, and the airport on the tourist island Bali is reopening to international arrivals on Thursday. In Vietnam, Al Jazeera reports that millions of workers fled the country's industrial belt, which is home to major factories for U.S. companies, such as Nike, and has been the epicenter of the country's worst COVID-19 outbreak. But now that the peak production season for winter clothing and Christmas gifts is starting up, the Vietnamese government is offering transportation for factory workers, and companies are upping pay and benefits, but many are not going back to work. In Myanmar, Bloomberg reports that the country's currency has dropped 50% since the military seized power in February. The report says the plunging local currency amid an unprecedented dollar shortage is driving up the cost of imports and worsening the economy's struggle. Last month, the currency hit a record low, leading to gold shops and money exchanges to close. In Singapore, the country is setting up so-called vaccinated travel lanes, with more countries to allow quarantine-free travel for those who are vaccinated against COVID-19. The country's transport minister told CNBC that while the country is adding travel lanes with more countries like the US and the UK, that does not mean the country is taking on significantly higher risks. In Cambodia, the news outlet The Star reports that the country has vaccinated over 84% of the population of 16 million and is now rolling out its booster shot campaign, starting in the capital of Phnom Penh. The country's prime minister says Cambodia has more than 11 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines set to be administered as the third booster shot. And now for a quick update on the COVID-19 situation. Today, October 12, the CCSA reported 9,445 new COVID-19 cases and 84 coronavirus-related deaths. Since April 1st and the latest wave of the virus in Thailand, the CCSA has reported 1,701,501 confirmed COVID-19 infections. In the 24-hour period since the last count, the CCSA has reported 11,452 recoveries. There are now 108,174 people receiving treatment for COVID-19. And that wraps up the COVID-19 update. For more news on Thailand, go to thetiger.com or check out our evening show, Thailand News Today.